Welcome. We are your hosts, Chris and Tammy.
In this podcast, we dive into the mindset for networking strategies and skills you'll need to build a solid foundation to build a global business.
We've built a multi-million-dollar business and have mentored thousands of people around the globe in the last 25 years. We're going to talk about work ethics. And again, these are our principles. And I know that many of you are saying, well, we know what work ethics is all about, but we want to share this from our point of view, how we apply this in our lives. What is it that we do? Some of the principles when it comes to ethics, I want to talk about five different points that we want to cover. We'll expand on them. And the five are, one is punctuality and attendance. And I'll expand on that, right? And the other one is integrity and honesty. And we'll talk about that. This is so important. The other one is respect and professionalism. Again, very important. Doesn't matter what market you are in. These are different aspects that are very, very important if you want to create long-term relationship and also a prosperous business. Number 4 is accountability. We want to talk about briefly. The last point that I find is actually important is confidentiality. And we'll expand on what we mean by that. So the first point I want to talk about is punctuality and attendance. And what I mean by that, and I know that in many markets, being on time, it's absolutely amazing. In other markets, being on time requires a lot of work and a lot of discipline to kind of create that habit. But there's one thing that I found is the people that are there early, that are there on time, tend to be the people that have more success in my experience. Where the people are always late, it's interesting, but it's a pattern that they tend to always miss out on things. Okay, so one point is that's absolutely true in be true to your commitment, and of course punctuality, perseverance. I have a hard time with this word in English. So these are very solid principles. I want to have Tammy also to share her point of view when it comes to that. But the point here, folks, is when I tell myself I'm going to do something, I'm doing it no matter what. Doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. It doesn't matter all the bad situation, everything, all the uns are against me. It doesn't matter. I will stay the course. I will continue. And what I found in my experience and all the objections and challenges that I can think of as I recognize my life after 57 years, not that I've been in business 57 years, but you guys know what I'm talking about here, is I see patterns. And eventually, when the tsunami goes away and the weather the sun shines, shows again, and the weather is nice again, it's really interesting. But I kept going. And yes, the momentum was impacted, but I kept going. And when things are good, then whatever it is I was doing, the speed is 4, 5, 10 times faster because I stayed the course.
Yeah, so I'm not going to repeat the stuff that Chris says. That's why I wanted him to share his points on all of these different subjects that you're going to hear. But there's 3 words that I'm going to have you to write down. Mind your business.
Brilliant.
Mind your business. You are running a business, and every single day, the decisions you make will determine the results that you're going to get. And if you set goals and you're not reaching those goals, you need to ask yourself every single night, what did I do to mind my business today? What were the actions that I took today to move me towards the goals that I have in my business, in my life, whatever it is that you have in your goals? And I think and we'll probably repeat that, Chris, but journaling and scheduling, organization, as I find in mentoring others, it's probably the biggest struggle for people is to being on target. And if you schedule your business hours, if you schedule your business hours and honor your time slot commitments, you're going to see how much results that you're going to get. First time we went to Philippines, And it was unbelievable, the work ethic that we saw in this culture. Unbelievable. And then you would look at the leader. No wonder they have a good work ethic. They have a leader with a good work ethic, and they obviously had big dreams and goals to make that happen. There's one thing that leader said, and you may know who this person was, but there's one thing that he said was FYI. Write that down. FYI.
Fix yourself immediately.
Fix yourself immediately. And I still hear him saying that when there's things that I feel that I could be better at in technology or whatever it is. And this is in my back of my head. Fix yourself immediately, Tammy. Fix yourself immediately, Tammy. Because if you don't get better and you can't be the example, then you're not leading. You're not leading.
And one thing that's very important is honesty is absolutely critical. Doing things with integrity. And I know sometime when nobody's watching, it's very easy to think, oh, let me just do this one. Let me just take this person. Like nobody knows that person. And, but sooner or later, time will promote you or expose you. I'm telling you, this is a universal law. It never fails. Time will promote you or expose you. But integrity and honesty, doing your business with integrity. Tammy and I are so careful about that. And if we make a mistake because we weren't aware, we will fix it immediately. But do your business with honesty and integrity. You will never fail. People will remember, even though you made a mistake. Stay the course. People will remember you by that.
Often I question myself, have I really got to know that person? Am I being genuine when I'm connecting with them? Or am I just connecting with them because I want something? You know what I mean? Like people sense all of this stuff. And when you just work from your heart, people sense all of this stuff. And so people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You all know these phrases. And these are things that you want to live by.
I agree. So again, integrity and honesty, folks, we're talking about, your team, your downline. Be careful about dumping information or dumping your situation or problems to your downline. I'm telling you, your downline is looking for inspiration, not desperation. So now we're going to go down. Number 3 is respect and professionalism, right? Treat others with respect, regardless of the position, promote a positive environment, and foster collaboration. Foster collaboration. This is probably one of the most important tool in my arsenals of tools. Is always create a bridge of communication between parties to be able to either resolve problems, come up with ideas, and just kind of innovate or re-innovate or create. This is very important. We need to talk, we need to discuss, and we need to figure out what's the next course of action. That's how you survive tsunamis. Is by locking arms no matter how bad things get. And when things get good, the relationship and the foundation that you've built, the trust that you've built, this is what builds a mammoth community with a foundation of concrete. That's the foundation of success. So these are my thoughts when it comes to respect and professionalism.
And work together and create and empower, inspire, give each other some things that have worked for you this week, sharing different things. And that it could be a really small group, but a small group with goals and a passion and a desire to succeed, and you support each other on those goals, can turn into a large group. Think of things that you can do in that environment, and you'll cultivate all of that relationship building. You'll cultivate the work ethic, keeping each other accountable, all that stuff, and working together in a professional manner. So
the next point we want to talk about is accountability. And we kind of touched on that a little bit. But taking responsibility for one's action, meeting commitment, and showcase commitment and dedication to your team. The 5 levels of leadership from John C. Maxwell. This is that would be level 4. Okay. And I mean, it starts at the beginning, but level 4 is where people start recognizing you. Because level 1 is, it's like our government. Again, I want to turn this political, but the only power he has is the power is given to me by his position, not because people like him or anything like that, right? So that's kind of what society is used to. And unfortunately, that is not good leadership. But then second level is, is that relationship, the time you spend with individuals to try to resolve and listen and come up with ideas, and the respect, and there's many other aspects, but that's really the point that's important for leadership too. Leadership 3 is they see you in action, right? They see you sponsoring, and they see you doing things. They see you achieving. They see you at the top of the rank in the top 10 or whatever. They see that. They say, okay, and that's another level of respect. And then level 4, well, this is where you tend to train and mentor and create an environment and create an ecosystem for people to have a place to park their cars and to be able to go and learn and go to school and evolve and work in their personal growth and so forth. And okay, so that's level 4. And what's very important is the accountability, taking responsibility for what you say you're going to do, that you're going to do it. If you tell someone you do something and you don't show up, right away, you lost all credibility in that point. They may not tell you, but they know. And if you live your life doing these things, well, it's one of the reasons why people don't want to be around you, or they don't want to follow you, or when you invite them to do certain things, they may not show up. That's accountability, because we know that the moment you break one, you can do 1,000 times a commitment. You break one, boom, you just broke that level of confidence. Now, you might have had a lot of deposits and you did a huge withdrawal, because that's what happens if something like this happened. You still have enough money, if you understand my analogy, where there's still credibility, but it takes a big, big toll on your credibility deposit. So this is something that's super important, accountability. If you tell someone you're going to do something, do it, show up. Now, the last point we want to talk about is confidentiality. This is something that is probably one of the most important out of the 5. They're all equally important, but I can tell you that respecting the privacy and confidentiality of sensitive information of others, things that happens, this is critical. I cannot stress this enough. I know for a fact that if this is not respected, this could be one of the main area as to why the team has broken down. Mm-hmm. Okay. And where there's issues and challenges, right? Is when you break that bond, right? Someone trusted you with some vital information, and you tend to share this with someone else, and you probably don't mean wrong. You just you maybe even want to try to help. But folks, you have to understand the importance of maintaining these kind of secrets. If someone shares something in confidence with you, that should go to your grave with you, if you understand what I mean. And I know it's not easy, right? Because sometimes we trust someone, but that someone also trusts someone else. And I tell you that someone else also really, really trusts someone else. What's going on right now? The network is starting to spread. Next thing you know, things happens. So this is something that will implode an organization. I cannot stress this enough. So these are the 5 principles, right? Be very, very careful when people trust you with sensitive content.
When a story gets told, the moment it gets back to you, is the story different?
Oh, yeah.
Very much different. Be very, very, very careful. And I kind of added one, Chris, because I'm always about that, fostering great relationships. Even if people leave, how many people stop talking to people who leave, right? Very, very often that happens. And, or maybe somebody's in and you never built the relationship and they're gone. And then somebody else had kept the relationships with these people. You got to be careful with all of this. You want to be very strong in being close to people, just randomly follow up and say hi to people. So yeah, these are things that you want to adopt in your business so that you can grow.
Integrity of work is everything. And find a love for what you do. Don't just do it for the money. That's not a real motivating factor. Think about what really matters to you. In other words, maybe what the money can do, what the things that really matters to you. And that's what today's topic is all about, is your work ethics, because your work ethics will determine everything in life. Have yourself a great, great week, and bye for now.